Don't play with it, don't be dishonest. Ay, still not understanding.
Hey y'all, it's me Key. Welcome back to my channel. As you can see by the title of this video, I'm back with another story time. So if you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you're not new here and you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, because as you all know, we're on the road to 1K and I'm trying to reach my goal before the end of the year. And as y'all can see, we finally reached 700 subscribers, and I'm very grateful and thankful for every last one of y'all. 700 subscribers is really big for me. I never thought in a million years I'd be at 700. I know it's probably a small goal to a lot of people, but it's big for me. So thank y'all so much. Okay, y'all, so let's go ahead and get into this story time. This story time is going to be about the time my lame ass baby daddy, kid's daddy, kicked in my door. I know, crazy, right? Let's get into it. This story time took place after I had our first baby. During this time, my baby was probably a year old. Me and my daughter had moved out of the shelter and we had moved into our place. So we had been in the shelter for a couple months. Let me give y'all a little bit of backstory. So if y'all watched that story time, I did time in jail when I was pregnant. Y'all knew I had my own place. But I ended up moving out of that place because my lease was up and Lane went to jail. My family didn't want me to be alone taking care of my baby while my baby daddy was in jail. So instead of renewing my lease, they offered me to move in with them so I wouldn't have to really worry about paying bills and try to take care of a new baby by myself, because I was a first-time mom. So things did not work out there. Like, I was literally probably at my family's house for like maybe a month and a half, 2 months. I don't know. It wasn't a long time, but they had basically told me that I needed to move into a shelter because they did not want me there no more. So, I mean, I had to do what I had to do. I couldn't just go back to staying on the streets because I had been homeless before, but I had not ever been homeless with a child before. So I'm like, I'm not just gonna be out on the streets with my new baby. I'm just gonna go ahead and move into the shelter. So I was at the shelter for a couple months and I moved into my place, and Lame got out of jail while I was staying in the shelter. When Lame got out of jail, everything went back to normal. We were one big happy family again, or so I thought. When he got out of jail, he was staying with his parents, and as I mentioned, I was in the shelter. So when I wasn't working, I did have free time and we were allowed to, go do whatever we wanted. So we were basically allowed time out of the shelter. Like, we could go, if we weren't working, we can go hang out, do whatever we wanted, as long as we made it back before curfew time. And I think curfew was like 9 or 10, I can't remember. So when I wasn't working, I would spend my time with Lane. So sometimes I would go over to his parents' house and chill with him. Like, y'all, it was so bad and I was so depressed. When it was time for me to go back to the shelter because I had the curfew, I would literally just be like crying like the whole time, like telling me I don't want to go back and blah, blah, blah. Like, it was depressing living in a shelter because it was just me and my daughter. Like, and it wasn't one of those shelters where everybody was together. Like, the shelter that me and my daughter stayed in, it was like a townhouse. We had a townhouse to ourselves, a 1-bedroom townhouse to ourselves. So it wasn't that bad. It was just the fact that we were living in a shelter. I just felt like I didn't have nobody and I just felt alone. So I just really wanted to be with my daughter's dad. And y'all, I suffered from postpartum so bad. Like, and nobody knew because I was functioning so well. I would literally be alone just crying and crying and crying. But when it was time for me to be around anybody, like, I was normal. You couldn't even tell. And if the doctors would ask me, are you doing okay? Blah, blah, blah. You know how you have a baby and they give you like this, these questions. They ask you these questions. Like, they give you this paper, they ask you these questions and they have you mark off the answers or whatever, I guess, to check your mental health. And like, I would literally just lie, but I suffered so bad. Like, I did not want nobody to know that I was suffering. So that was a really, really hard time in my life. As I mentioned, everything was good with me and Lane until it wasn't. So after I moved into my place, like the first couple weeks, it was cool, but then he started missing in action. So when he started missing in action, I would just go try to find him. I would go pull up at his mom's house, his brother house, go to all the spots I know he would be at, trying to find Lane. On this one particular day, I had pulled up to his mom's house looking for him. I knocked on the door and his mom answered the door. And you can tell she was drunk. It looked like she ain't been sleeping 2 days. She looked all crusty or whatever. So I'm like, is Lame over here? She goes, he at his brother house, so-and-so house. I'm like, okay. And then she starts to say something as I'm turning around to leave. She was saying, oh, ain't nobody fooling with you. This how she was saying, ain't nobody fooling with you. Ain't nobody fooling with you. You over here looking for, ain't nobody fooling with you. I didn't really pay her no mind because I already know she's a drunk ass crackhead. I'm not even finna let her take me there today. Usually she can take me there. We can argue, but not right now. I'm trying to find Lane. So I just walked off and I went over to his brother's house. So I knocked on the door and guess who answered the door? Lame. Lame opens the door and he looks like he ain't had no sleep in 2 days either. So I'm like, what are you doing? This fool got a 211 tall can in his hand, and he starts to drink it like he just has no care in the world, no responsibilities, nothing. And like he was looking at me all crazy, like, what you doing over here? You know, I'm like, what are you doing? He goes, I'm just chilling. I'm like, okay, but I ain't seen you in a couple days. Like, what's going on? He was like, I'm just over here chilling with my people and my family. I'm like, yeah, all right. Are you coming with me to the house or not? He was like, no, I'm over here chilling. Then he proceeds to drink his funky ass, hot ass can of 211. That beer, it used to stink so bad. Like, that was his favorite beer. He drunk that all the time. And what would get on my nerves is, let the time be 2:11. He's, oh, it's 2:11. What time is it? It's 2:11. Like a crackhead. It was weird. He was so annoying, y'all. Ugh. But yeah. So I'm like, you know what? Whatever. Fuck you. I'm going home. So now I know what his crackhead ass mama meant when she was saying, ain't nobody fooling with you. Ain't nobody fooling with you. I guess Lane was over there running his mouth about me or something. Oh, and this is the thing. So his brother, right? His brother had this girlfriend. And for whatever reason, she'd always speak on me. But I didn't know that until after the fact. Because when I would see the girl, she would always try to be in my face, you know, always made it her business to say hi to me and want to speak to my child or whatever. And then she had a daughter too, so she would try to give me, well, she would give to Lame to give to me. She would give him her daughter's hand-me-downs to give to me. And I'm like, I don't need none of this stuff. Like, none of this stuff is clean. Like, I wouldn't put this type of stuff on my child. Like, what makes her think I need anything from her, you know? And on top of that, like, I just felt like she had a little crush on Lane because Lane would come and tell me, yeah, my brother, his girlfriend, was always telling me how she be seeing your car. Yeah, she told me how she be seeing your car. And I would ask him, where did she see my car at? And he'd be like, yeah, she saw it. It don't matter where she saw it. She just seen your car. Like, he didn't actually tell me where the girl said she seen my car, but he was trying to insinuate that she seen my car at a nigga house. So this is my thing. Bitch, if you want to suck this nigga, you know, you ain't got to throw dirt on my name to do so. Go ahead and do it. Go ahead and suck that, because I'm not finna do it. Go ahead and do it. The fuck, like, you with his brother, it's so obvious that she had a little crush on my baby daddy. She was with his brother before my baby daddy got out of jail. So I guess, you know, she wanted to choose up with the big brother when he got out of jail. So, I mean, boo-boo, if that's what you wanted to do, you do not have to throw dirt on my name to do so. Go ahead and do it, like, by all means, okay? So it was apparent that things started to go left with me and Lane's mom. During the time that Lane was in jail, me and his mom was cool. I had actually stayed with Lane's mom for a few days before I had actually moved into the shelter. It's a whole process, like it's a wait list before you can actually get into a shelter, so I needed somewhere to stay. But I did not like staying with her. We was cool, but I did not like staying with her because, you know, she has a man, which was Lane's stepdaddy or whoever. Yeah, she was with him, so I had to stay with both of them. I was probably better off staying with Lane's brother, but he had like this really big pit bull that lived in his house with him. And I was not about to stay with nobody who had a big ass pit bull in their house who they literally just kept in the room with the door locked because it was crazy. This man slept in his living room while his dog slept in the room because the dog was crazy. I didn't understand why he just did not get rid of the dog. It just made no sense. But anyway, so yeah, I stayed with them for a few days and it was terrible, y'all. Like, I had a little money on me and they were obviously broke. So I remember one time, we were all thirsty. Like, they didn't have no food and nothing to drink in their house for like a couple days, and I'm like, well, I can go to the liquor store up the street and get us all something to drink. So I walked up in the hot ass heat with my baby to get us something to drink, and I come back with some fountain drinks. I hand his daddy a fountain drink and he looks at me and goes, I wanted a beer. I looked at him. I said, you better take this fountain drink. You didn't even have no damn money for a beer. What did I look like walking to the store to buy you a beer? If you wanted a beer that bad, you would have go out and make your own damn money to buy you a beer. I'm buying fountain drinks. You want it or not? Or drink you some damn seawater. So he took it. He had a little attitude about it, but he took it like, how you gonna be ungrateful? You can be passed out somewhere because you're dehydrated, but you steady talking about a beer. Whatever. And then on top of that, like, they had a dog too, but like, it was a little chihuahua. That's the thing about them. They would find dogs out on the street and bring them in their house. Like, they wouldn't take care of the dogs. They wouldn't get no shots for these dogs. The dogs wasn't trained, nothing. So I had to sleep in a room with his mom, right? And like, you know, that wasn't the issue, but the issue was they had this dog, and I do not like dogs. I don't like no type of animals but birds or fish, y'all. So they had this dog running around the house. The damn dog was in my baby's car seat. I'm like, oh, hell no. Like, this shitty ass dog ain't finna be playing in my damn baby car seat. Like, that was a final straw for me. I had to get up out of there. Y'all sheltering stray animals, I'm not finna do it. Like, this dog is not clean. You ain't giving no shots, taking no bath, nothing. And it's in my baby's car seat. Like, I gotta get up out of here. It's probably gonna be people saying, oh, how you gonna be like that? How you gonna act that way? You ain't even have nowhere to live. Yeah, that's true. I didn't have nowhere to live, but I didn't want to live nasty. The fuck? And I think that things went left with me and Lane's mom because her son got out of jail, and she's really weird about her son. Like, she obviously did not want me to be with him. It seemed like she really wanted him for herself. I don't know, because everybody he's in a relationship with, she seems to butt into the relationship like she's nosy. She has her own relationship to worry about, but she's always in this man's business. So it was just really weird. I'm not even surprised that she started acting weird after this man got out of jail, y'all. Fast forward to us being out of the shelter and into our place. Let's go to my daughter's birthday. So as I mentioned, my daughter's birthday is around the holidays, but I didn't want to have her birthday party then. I wanted to make sure we was in our place and I had enough money saved to actually throw her a birthday party. So I threw her a birthday party, and of course his raggedy ass mammy was not invited. The whole time this man been out of jail, she been started shit with me. She was not allowed at my daughter's first birthday party. Oh, and I forgot to say this too. So this what led up to her not being able to come to the birthday party, y'all. I'm just thinking to myself, like, why did this girl, like, I didn't know at the time. I didn't know what her issue was at the time. So I'm thinking to myself, why don't this lady like me? We were just cool. What's her issue? So I'm talking to Lane. I'm like, what's wrong with your mama? You know, why she always acting like that? And of course he's taking up for her raggedy ass. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just ask her myself. So I called her, and this is how the conversation went, y'all. Ring, ring, ring. Hello. Hey, so what's your issue with me? Why you don't like me? This whole screaming so loud, I couldn't even hear nothing she's saying. Then she hangs up on me. She starts texting me talking about she gonna get her daughter to beat me up, this and that. Y'all, all I asked this bitch was why she don't like me. I guess she calls her daughter, and she makes it seem to her daughter like I'm just bothering her, I'm trying to fight her, like I'm just picking at her, like I'm the aggressive one, and she's lying. So her daughter, she calls me and she's like, what's going on with you and my mom? She's just telling me a whole bunch of BS, but I just want to like hear your side, because she knew that her mom was full of shit. So me and her, like later on in the future, we end up getting into it, but because of her mom. But at the same time, she knew her mom was full of shit. So I don't even know why it even went that far. But that's a whole nother story, y'all. It's crazy. She knew that her mom was full of shit. So I'm just telling her, yeah, I didn't say nothing to your mama. I'm just telling her, like, why don't she like me? Because ever since Lane got out of jail, she been acting weird with me. You knew how I was at the house with your mama and we were cool. And I don't know why she's acting weird now. She's like, yeah, my mom's tripping. Don't pay her no mind, blah, blah, blah. So she starts to ask me about the birthday party. I'm giving her like all the deeds or whatever. And that was that. So yeah, come time for the party, of course, she's not invited. Everybody else, well, of course not the raggedy ass daddy. I did not like him. He gave me the heebie-jeebies, y'all. He wasn't invited. But like his sister came, his sister, baby daddy, they kids, they all came or whatever. And, you know, the party was cool. But at the same time, it wasn't, because Lane, he's feeling some type of way because his mama wasn't invited. So me and him, we step outside and I'm like, whatever issues you're going through right now, you need to just forget about it because it's my daughter's party. So he's just like, yeah, but you know, I feel some type of way that my mom was not invited, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, yeah, but you know why your mom's not invited. Like, me and him, we low-key getting into it. Like, the thing with me, I know a lot of females don't do this because I've seen it myself. Like, you get into it with your man, he can threaten you and treat you any kind of way. That shit don't work with me. Like, if I feel threatened, if I feel like you gonna try to do something to me or anything, like, if I even feel like you hurt my feelings, I'm calling my brothers and I'm calling my daddy. You gonna get your ass beat, okay? You not finna play with me. So I'm just letting him know right now. You already know who up in that damn Peter Piper. That's where we had my daughter's party. We had it in Peter Piper Pizza. I'm like, you already know who up in Peter Piper Pizza. You get your ass beat today. Like, I always let this man know, you get your ass beat. Do not play with me. Don't play with me. And he didn't. Like, he knew not to touch me. He knew not to do too much because he was gonna get his ass beat. I don't know why that man still stayed with me. He still stayed with me after, like, because at first I was letting him disrespect me, but after a while I'm just like, I got tired of it. I told y'all this in another story. I got tired of it and I started to let him know that you would really get fucked up. You would really get fucked up messing with me. So keep playing with me if you want to. I would literally have somebody come to your mama's house, drag you out the house, and beat the fuck out of you. Quit playing with me. So he knew not to play with me. Like, he knew. Don't try it because it's going down. So a month goes by and everything's fine. Like, we're okay. Me and Lane, we're okay. So, you know, he's starting to come around the house more, starting to be there with me and our child, and everything's okay. Until it's not. So it's around tax season, and Lane is starting to pull that disappearing bullshit again. So, of course, you already know I'm pulling up to his mama's. I'm pulling up to his brother's to see where he's at. I ended up pulling to his mom's house looking for him one day. And Lane, he wasn't there, but me and her, we just sat down and we talked. You know, we were cool. She apologized. She had told me she had seen pictures of my daughter's cake and the cake looked good, this and that. Because her daughter had took pictures of my baby's cake. I had bought if I can find a picture of the cake, I'm going to post it right here. But, you know how much money I spent on that damn cake? Everybody told me it was crazy, but I didn't care because that was my baby's first birthday. I spent like $150 on that damn cake. And that was a lot of money for a cake back then. But I didn't care. That was my baby's first birthday, y'all. And the cake, it was so good and it was so cute too. I don't think I ended up finding him that day, but yeah, let's just fast forward to tax time. So it's tax season, y'all. And when I stayed by myself after I moved into my that apartment after I left the shelter, I was alone a lot. Like, even now, I don't know, like, my family, they don't really come around. Like, always literally just been me and my kids. Like, I really don't talk to nobody, y'all. I don't got no friends, nothing. I just be in the house. That's, if I'm not working, I'll just be in the house. That's all I do. Like, nobody ever comes around, nothing. Like, it's just me. And it's weird, like, I don't really go nowhere. If I do, I'm by myself. So it's tax time and I had got my tax money. So of course I'm ready to, you know, go outside. Shit, I got some money. So I'm calling Lame. I'm calling around looking for Lame. And I'm like, hey, like, do you want to come over? We can go out to eat. Of course, we were going to go out to eat to my favorite place, Applebee's. That's still my favorite place, y'all. I'm like, do you want to go to Applebee's? He was like, you got some money? I'm like, yeah, I got some money. You want to go? He was like, so, like, how'd you get some money? Like, that's how he was talking to me. It was weird. He goes, how'd you get some money? I'm like, do it matter? I knew not to tell you. Look, y'all don't never tell a nigga about y'all tax money. Because when it was tax season the year before, it was my first time getting taxes with a dependent. So I had got my taxes and I got a cool 3 bands and some change, y'all. I'm thinking I can trust my baby daddy and tell him how much money I got, and I couldn't. Because when I got my tax money, he just started to be weird. And remind y'all, he had ended up getting some money from, like, what was it, financial aid? You know how financial aid gives y'all that booking man's money? So the thing was, he knew he was going to jail. And he wanted to make sure me and his baby was going to be cool with a little bit of money during the time he had to spend in jail. So I'm like, I got the bright idea to have him enroll to school. So I'm like, yeah, sign up for school and I'll do the work and I'll get the money. He was like, okay, cool. Yeah, you could do that. So we get the book advance check and I tell him, this is the money for the books. I'm going to need it. Go cash the check so we can go buy the books. So this idiot goes to cash the check, but he never gives me the money to buy the books. It was only $700 and something, y'all. This idiot starts acting like he just big balling and shit with $700 and something. Like, my baby daddy grew up poor, so he really never had no money like that. So he just thinking he really doing something by getting this book advance money. He starts acting funny. I remember my baby needed some milk. He gonna tell me I can't be spending this money like that. But he would literally go over to his people's house and buy everybody beers and food. But your baby can't get no milk, you know? And then when I got my tax money, he spent up all that little book advance money and thought he was finna help me spend my taxes. But no, Bookie Boo, you're not helping me spend shit. And because he spent the money for the book advance, I was not able to buy books for school. So I ended up just doing the work without the books. And he didn't know that because I'm like, you need to buy the books so I can do the schoolwork so we can get the financial aid. He was just like, just try to do the work without the books. Who the fuck am I, Albert Einstein? I can't do no damn work without the books. What the hell? So me being me, I'm thinking to myself, I'm at least gonna try. Like, he don't know that I'm doing this work without the books. He don't even know. So I ended up getting both checks for the not checks, it was direct deposit at this time. He had got a bank card in the mail from the school, and both direct deposits were deposited on the card, and he did not know. Like, I did not tell him because you ain't finna take this money from me and think you finna just do what you did with the book advance money. Nah, boo-boo. So when I got my taxes, yeah, I was not sharing my money with him, but he begged me up and down to buy him an Xbox. Like, I took him to the pawn shop. Yeah, I did. I took him to the pawn shop and bought him an Xbox. I think it was for like $200 or whatever. So yeah, that's all he got up out of me. But he was so jealous. He acted so funny when I got my taxes. Like, I remember we was out eating at Filiberto's. He gonna tell me, yeah, my parents, they have to move out of their apartment. It wasn't even an apartment. It was a weekly. They got to move. I'm like, okay, I'm just eating my food. He was like, so you ain't gonna help them? What do I look like helping these grown-ass people move out of their apartment? Well, or their weekly. It was his dad, his mom, and his brother. They were all staying in a one-bedroom weekly. I'm like, what do I look like helping them? What do they ever help me with? Like, anything for my baby? Did they help me move into my apartment? What do y'all people help me with? All they do is give me a hard fucking time. So I'm like, no, I'm not helping them with anything. This man was so jealous that I got some tax money, and he was mad that I would not give him no money. Like, you don't even deserve no money. What do you need some money for? Oh yeah, so it's tax time, and he started asking me, trying to press me, so where'd you get the money? Like, that's how he was talking to me. I'm like, do it matter? He goes, tell me, I want to know. I'm like, do you want to go or not? He was like, yeah, I want to go, but where'd you get the money? You got your taxes, huh? I tell him, no, I didn't get my taxes. I got my state taxes, and that's only a couple $100. Y'all, I was lying my ass off. I had got my taxes, but I was supposed to get my state taxes, but I had some traffic tickets racked up, so I ain't got no state taxes in years. If you're in Arizona and you owe for traffic violations, they're gonna take your state taxes. You won't get that. So yeah, I hadn't got state taxes in years, but he didn't know that. So he had told me that he was gonna come over later on and we would go out to eat to Applebee's. I'm like, okay, cool, I'll be waiting for you. So hours go by, the day's gone, and here comes the night, and he still ain't here. Lane finally gets to the house around 9-10 o'clock at night. So I'm like, where have you been? Like, I thought we were gonna go out to eat. He tells me, oh, I couldn't get a ride to the house. But you knew you couldn't get a ride. You never have a ride. Why didn't you just take the bus? He goes, well, I didn't feel like taking the bus. So you literally had me waiting here all day to go out to eat, and you knew he wasn't coming. Like, you knew you weren't gonna have a ride. He tells me, well, I just thought my sister, baby daddy, was gonna take me to your house, but he never showed up. You knew he wasn't gonna come. Like, you don't ever have no ride nowhere. That shit, oh, y'all, he blew me so bad. This man literally never had a ride anywhere. So he tells me, yeah, I bought the bike because I knew it was the last bus and I was gonna have to ride the bike the rest of the way to your house. I'm like, you stupid as hell. You knew that you weren't gonna have a ride, and you just wasted the whole day. Now we can't go out to eat. And I'm mad, y'all. Like, I was just hungry, and I had one of those hunger headaches. So I tell Stupid to go down to the liquor store, which was the only store that was left open because it's 10 o'clock at night. Everything's closed. I'm like, go get me some Tylenol because I have a headache now. Like, I had nothing to eat all day. My head hurt. Go give me some Tylenol and some chips. I'll give him $10. So I give this idiot, Stupid boy, $10, and he goes up to the liquor store. I'm noticing it's taking him a little minute because the liquor store is literally just up the street. It's not far from my house at all. It's at the corner. It's at that light, like y'all know where I lived at. It's just at the corner. So I'm like, you know, like, what's taking him so long? It's been 30 minutes now. Like, did he get lost? He couldn't have got lost because he knows this area. I'm waiting and waiting, and he finally shows up. And I'm like, why did it take you so long? He was like, oh, I was up there, you know, chopping it up with the homies in the store. Like, boy, you know every damn body. That got on my nerves with him. We can't never go nowhere because this big mouth, blabbermouth always got to stop and talk to somebody. Literally everywhere we went. That was so annoying. Like, I'm an introvert and he was an extrovert. He always got to talk and it was annoying. I finally get my Tylenol and my little snacks because we weren't going out to eat. So I had to eat something. And I go in the room. Me and my baby, we laying in the bed watching a movie. Probably watching The Grinch or what was it, Ice Age for the 100th time. So it's getting later, and my baby, she finally sleep. It's probably about midnight, y'all. And Lane, he's in the living room. And I noticed he ain't came in the room to check on us. So I get up and I go in the living room and I just go see what he's doing. He's sitting on the couch watching TV. And y'all, there are two, not one, but two 40-ounce 211s on the floor, and they were both empty. So I look at the floor, I'm like, what the fuck is this? He goes, oh, I bought me some 211. I said, well, what money? Because I gave you $10. That's how I knew, like, I was so out of it. Like, my head hurted so bad. I didn't even ask this fool where my change was because, remind y'all, I gave this fool $10. So I'm like, with what money? He goes, oh, with the $10 you gave me. I said, I didn't tell you to use my money to go buy no damn 211s. And I know he only did that because he knew I got my state taxes and he's thinking I got some money. I said, I ain't even got no money like that for you to go spend my... I know it was only $10, but I'm just spazzing out because you didn't ask me if you can use my $10 to go buy no 211. And he knew how I felt about him drinking because he drank a lot. But for somebody who drinks a lot, he could not hold his liquor. That's one of the worst things for a man, for me. For a man to be sloppy drunk, you can't hold your liquor. It's a complete turnoff. And he was always like that. Like, he could not hold his liquor. He would just do stupid shit. I remember one time, this fool, oh my God, this fool, he smoked some, can we see this one? He smoked some trees, right? And he was drinking some 211. And he doesn't smoke trees. He does another kind of drug. He be doing that coqueta. So he's not used to trees. So when he smoked, we literally went to Walmart and he was acting so weird, like somebody's following us. Oh my gosh, he was just so paranoid and it was really annoying. Like, he could not control himself. So he just got up and started to do weird shit in the house, making a whole bunch of noise, clapping his hands. I'm like, why are you doing this? The baby's asleep. You're gonna wake her up. He's like, well, get her up. It's time to party. No, it's not. It's not time to party. You finna lay your ass on this couch and sleep that shit off, and I'm finna go get back in the bed. He's like, no, get her up. We're gonna party. He was just doing the most, and he was irritating the fuck out of me, y'all. So I'm like, oh, hell no. So me and him, we start getting into it because I'm going off on him because he really took my money and went to go buy 211s. And he knows that I do not like him drinking. I think the real reason why you showed up is so I can buy you some liquor. You knew what you was doing. You knew what you was doing all day. You knew you wasn't going to come during the day because you didn't want to go out to eat. You just wanted me to buy you some beer. I'm not paying for your habit, nigga. So we getting into it, y'all. We really getting into it. And I just got mad. I was like, get the fuck out of my motherfucking house. Get your shit and get out. So I put him out. Y'all, I'm good for doing that. I'm good for putting the nigga out. I don't give a fuck. So I made him leave. He's like, oh, okay, you gonna make me leave? Ain't no buses running right now. Said, I don't give a ride the bike to your sister's house. His sister didn't live too far from me. Like, it wasn't like he was riding his bike all the way back to the avenues to his parents' house. He was only going up the street to his sister's house. Ride the bike to your sister's house. Wake her up, tell her that you need somewhere to stay right now. So I put him out, closed my door, and I went and got back in the bed. I'm thinking, okay, yeah, he's just gonna go to his sister's house and I'm just gonna go to sleep. I'll probably see him in the next day or two. No. He wasn't going for that shit that day. So he starts calling my phone. I'm ignoring him, of course. He's texting me, talking shit. Like, you gonna let me back in? I ain't even got nowhere to go. My sister, she over there asleep. I can't go over there right now. And like his sister, she didn't really, I mean, she let him come over. He was drunk and on bullshit. She would not let that man come to her house. And I definitely felt her because she had kids too. Just steady knocking on my door because I didn't have no kid at the time. So he steady knocking on my door. And I just got up and stood by the door. I'm like, you need to be quiet because I have neighbors. You're gonna wake up my baby. He's just, oh my God, open the door. You really gonna put me out the house? Open the door. Y'all, this man starts kicking my door. He starts kicking my door. I'm like, what are you doing? Stop kicking my door. He's like, you gonna let me up in here. So he was kicking my door for a good 5 minutes, y'all. And my door frame, I noticed it started to crack. I'm like, no, he's really about to do this. He's really about to kick in my door. So I called his mom. I'm like, your son is over here tripping. He's trying to kick in my door. She was like, what? He over there tripping? I'm gonna call him right now. So she called him and I can hear him on the phone talking to her. And then he starts cussing his mom out, you know, telling her he don't give a F what she's talking about, blah, blah, blah. He hangs up on her. He proceeds to kick my door. Something told me to just move because I was still standing by the door. I don't know why. I'm just thinking maybe he'll stop because I'm telling him, you're cracking the door frame. Stop kicking the door. So something tells me to just move out the way. And I'm glad I did because he just, boom, kicked it in like the police. I'm like, oh my God. And I just walked off. Like I told y'all, the man was drunk. He was off his marbles. I don't know if he went outside and hit the bag or whatever. Because like I told y'all, the man, he was, yeah. So, I didn't know if he was on that too, but I just went in the room because I didn't know if he was going to try to attack me because why would you just kick my door and not to come in here and try to do something to me? So he walks in the door and I went in my room and I closed the door and I locked it. And I'm like calling his mom. I'm like, he just kicked in my door. He just kicked in my door. She's like, yeah, I'm trying to call him, but he's not answering the phone. I hung up with her and then I called my mom. I'm like, Mom, let him just kicked in my door. He just kicked in my door. I'm yelling and screaming like, oh my God, he just kicked in my door. She's like, where you at now? I was like, I'm in the room with the baby. I got the door like he just kicked in my door. She's like, I'm about to call your daddy right now. So at the time, my daddy, he stayed in Mesa. Like that was kind of far from me. That was probably a good 30 to 40 minutes away. I'm trying to do a story. Somebody keep calling my damn phone. Anyway, so my daddy, he was in a whole nother city. Lame, he was just literally in the living room talking shit. Like he didn't try to come to my room or anything. He was just literally in the living room talking shit. So my dad, he starts calling me and I'm not answering the phone. Because I already know, like, my daddy, he finna be on 10. He finna be screaming. I don't know why he be doing all that, raising his blood pressure, but I totally get it. He felt like his daughter and granddaughter was in a unsafe situation. So I totally get it. But I knew not to answer the phone for him because he's crazy. So I'm on the phone with my mom and she was just like, sorry, y'all. So me and my mom, we were just on the phone and she was just telling me, yeah, your daddy on his way. He coming from Mesa, but he on his way. I guess Lamb came to his senses because I told y'all he was drunk as hell. He had drunk 2 40-ounce 211s and ain't no telling what he was drinking before he even came to my house, because if he was over his parents' house, they're getting drunk. They're getting loose, okay? So ain't no telling what he did before he even got to my house. So he was drunk as hell. He probably had came to his senses and knew something was going to happen to him because he was going to get beat up. So he ends up calling the police on himself. So the police came and I didn't see none of this. Like the police came and they had took Lamb outside. So when I heard the police in the house, I came out the room. And by that time, y'all, my daughter was up. So the police, they want to talk to me and get a report. And I'm just telling them like what happened, like everything that led up to him kicking in my door. So They tell me he's the one that called the police, because I'm thinking his mom did, but he was the one who called the police. So he ends up going to jail. And my dad told me that he was outside the whole time, but he didn't go in because he seen the police. The police came at the same time. So my dad was telling me, yeah, Lane was lucky that the police pulled up the same time as he did, because he was going to get it that day. And I'm sure that's why he called the police. Well, yeah, they ended up taking Lane to jail. It's real sad when you rather be in jail than to get your ass beat. Like, why not just take that minute or two ass whooping and then go about your day? But you rather just go to jail. You probably still gonna get your ass beat when you get out of jail. So you might as well just take the ass beating right now instead of just going to jail. Lane ends up going to jail. And of course, y'all know his raggedy mama seems to think that Lane could do no wrong. He could literally do no wrong in her eyes. So the next day, she just called and telling me, yeah, you know, you shouldn't go to court. You know, Lame, he had just got out of jail. You shouldn't go to court. And don't do him like that, kid. Don't do him like that. What you mean don't do him like that? Nobody told that boy to kick in my door. Did I tell him to do that? No, he took that upon himself. He put his own self in that situation. And this whole time, like, everybody, like his mom and his parents and sister and baby daddy and them, they all thought that I was the one to call the police on him, because his sister, baby daddy, called me and was like, yeah, don't go to court, because if you don't go to court, the charges will be dropped. I'm like, how you know? He was like, I've been in this situation plenty of times. Your sister done called the police on me. I've been in jail plenty of times. So she never went to court when I went to jail. So the charges were dropped. And I'm thinking, yeah, his sister told me he was crazy. The hell? So I tell him, I'm like, I'm not even the one that called the police. So why do I even have to go to court? Like, it just didn't make any sense to me. I'm like, he the one who called the police on himself. He was like, oh, he called the police? I'm like, yeah. Y'all thought this whole time I was the one that called the police on him? No, he called the police on himself. Well, he was like, okay, well, still, don't go to court, because if you don't, the charges will be dropped. I'm like, okay, whatever, I guess. So I ended up not going to court, and the charges were dropped. I don't know why, y'all, but I low-key felt bad for him, because he had just got out of jail not too long ago. And then, but that's his fault. He put himself in that situation. Nobody told him to kick in my door. But I didn't want to press charges on him or anything. If anything, all I wanted for him to just get beat up and that be that, you know? And then we go back to living our normal lives. But go to jail, no. So I guess Lane gets out of jail. I forgot how long he was in there. I think he was only in there for a couple days. I don't remember. But he ends up getting out of jail, and he goes back to his parents' house because he couldn't come back to my house. And I had to tell my landlord, like, I'm like, hey, somebody kicked in my front door. I need a screen door. And then my landlord was asking me, well, do you have a police report? Because, I mean, I guess if I didn't have a police report, he was going to make me pay for it. I'm like, yeah, I got a police report. So I showed him my police report, and he paid for the, well, he sent somebody out to put a screen door on front of my door. And I'm glad I did get a police report, because I probably would have got kicked out of my apartment. Like, that's the thing with these niggas. They will help you lose it all. They really will. And that's just crazy. Like, you know my situation. You knew I had just got out of the shelter, and I got this place for me and my baby. You gonna come kicking my door? Like, what if we would have got evicted because of that? So when he got out of jail, I made sure that I did not talk to him. I didn't go pick him up from jail, because I had a car then. Like, I did not go pick him up from jail. I didn't let him come back to my house, nothing. Like, he would text and call my phone, but I did not answer. I didn't text him back. I stood on business with this nigga, because you had me super messed up. Like, what if my daughter was behind the door when you kicked it in? Like, he knew she was asleep, but what if she just got up? What if she had just decided to wake up and crawl in the living room? Like, what if she was standing behind the door? What if she was crawling behind the door? You would have kicked in the door and hurt her. So I was good off him for a long time, y'all. And what pissed me off was he would text my phone and be like, you know, you can't stay mad at me for long. You always forgive me every time. Oh, for real? Okay, bitch, I'm going to show you. Yeah, I definitely showed him. I really stood on business for a month or a month and a half until I finally gave in. So yeah, y'all, I ended up taking the bum nigga back, and we ended up having another baby. But yeah, y'all, that's it for this story time. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, because we are on the road to 1K subscribers. I'm trying to reach my goal before the end of the year. Go ahead and like, comment, share this story time, y'all. Thank you so much for watching.